every time I think that NFL Network can't do something any stupider than they've already done, they one-up themselves. Because, again, I don't get what they're doing when it comes to their programming block. Welcome everybody to JG9 News, where we talk all things NFL all the time. I'm Jared Gare, and I'm representing the 904 from the 602, and today we are talking about NFL Network, a network that is a shell of itself, as the inevitable sell-off to ESPN probably happens in the near future. I don't get what they're doing with a lot of stuff on that network. They cut Good Morning Football for the moment. They're putting it on hiatus because they don't have a studio. They're going to move the show from New York to Los Angeles, and they're on hiatus for a bit. But they bring it back on occasion via Zoom, so you can do the show. So what's the point of cutting it and then just bringing it back at random points? You also cut your flagship show, Total Access, which has been there since 2003 when the network first launched. So you make the channel all bare bones, no live programming whatsoever. You're cutting all your costs before selling it off, which I guess if you're going to do that, makes sense. But then you bring back insiders. So you cut one live show, you bring on another one. How does that make any sense at all? At that point, you might as well just not bring back insiders and just go completely bare bones and not have to pay anything and just have the whole thing run by an algorithm. But apparently not, because no one at NFL Network's making any sense. And if you want to see an example of NFL Network showing games that make no sense and programming that makes no sense, may I direct you to what is happening on Thursday, May 23rd. So the day is starting off in the morning with Super Bowl 29. Now, yes, this game was terrible. One of the worst Super Bowls of all time. The 49ers won that game over the Chargers, 49-26. The game was never in doubt whatsoever. However, it's a series where each morning they show an old Super Bowl. They show one a day in reverse chronological order. They've been doing this for the last month, so they are showing 30 on Wednesday, 31 today, on Tuesday, if you're watching as of this video. You get the idea. It's a bad game, but obviously no problem with that. They're showing each Super Bowl once, so no problem with that whatsoever. Then they're following up Super Bowl 29 with a repeat of the 1981 NFC Championship game between the Dallas Cowboys and the San Francisco 49ers. Great game. The 49ers won the game. It was remembered for the catch. One of the greatest games of all time. It helped the Niners get to their first Super Bowl in franchise history. It's remembered as really being the launch point for that 49ers dynasty in the 1980s. So you're doing Super Bowl 29 where the 49ers win, and then you're doing the 1981 NFC Championship game where the 49ers win. So I can sense the theme they're going for here. You appeal to 49ers fans, which is a smart decision. I said for a while that's what they should do with rivalry weekends and with team weekends. I think that's a great idea, is to just air games that have a common theme, and the theme is 49ers winning. You get 49ers fans to watch. It's good. And then at 4 p.m. Eastern, they're showing the 1994 NFC Championship where the 49ers beat the Cowboys and made it to Super Bowl 29, which they showed earlier in the day. The idea is to make this day, May 23rd, 49ers Day, essentially, because obviously the 94 NFC Championship, it wasn't a great game. You don't have to show it. It was fine. I'm not saying it was a terrible game. The 49ers won 38-28, but the game was never really in doubt. But I'm not going to hate on NFL Network for showing something that isn't a rerun of Super Bowl 58, because they've shown that at least 100 times at this point. So you're starting the game with Super Bowl 29, where the 49ers win. In between that is the 1981 NFC Championship, and then you got the 94 NFC Championship at 4 p.m. Eastern. All three games, the 49ers win. You attract 49ers fans. You make it essentially 49ers down the network. No complaints. You know what, NFL Network? You did a good thing. You did a really, really good thing here. But you know what's airing in between those games? You know what's airing after the 1981 NFC Championship, but before the 1994 NFC Championship? What's sandwiched in between those? That's right, the 1992 NFC Championship, where the 49ers lost. Let me repeat that. In between a 49ers win, another 49ers win, and then another 49ers win, on 49ers Day, essentially, they are showing a game where the 49ers lost. What is the strategy here? Why are they doing this? Why are they airing the 1992 NFC Championship between the 49ers and the Cowboys where the 49ers lost? Are you trying to appeal to 49er fans throughout the day? Well, guess what? It's not going to work, because they're going to turn it off once they get to the 1992 NFC Championship, because they lost that game And no one wants to relive a loss like that, especially to your hated rival, the Dallas Cowboys. Are you trying to get Cowboy fans to watch in between for whatever reason? They're not even going to know this is a thing because it's sandwiched in between two games that they lost. I don't get this at all. If you're going to show a Niners game in between the 1981 NFC Championship and the 1994 NFC Championship, pick any other game. Any other game. You want to do it against the Cowboys? Great. Pick the wild card game during the 2021 season. Pick that game. Or the 2022 divisional game where the Niners won. Pick another game. Just pick any other game that is not a game where the 49ers lost if you're trying to appeal to 49er fans throughout the day, which is clearly what you're trying to do with this programming block. It's like this. Imagine if I was in charge of NFL Network and I was designing a similar programming block for the Jacksonville Jaguars. So I decided, you know what? Let's show the 1996 divisional game against Denver. Great upset. One of the biggest upsets in NFL history. Jags go on the road in their second year as an expansion team. They beat the Denver Broncos, stun everyone. Then I'm going to follow that up by showing the comeback in the wildcard round against Los Angeles Chargers. The game in 2022-23 season, where they were down 27-0, came all the way back, one of the biggest comebacks in NFL history. Great game. I'm going to end the day by showing the 2007 wildcard game against Pittsburgh. Phenomenal game, one of the best playoff games I've ever watched in my life. The 31-29 game where David Garrard with a 4th and 2 QB draw. Great game. So we have a good programming block. And then sandwiched in between there, I decide, you know what? Let's show the 1999 AFC Championship where the Jags lost to the Titans. Genius. Because that's going to keep Jaguar fans tuned into the network to watch that game. Again, I have no problem with them airing a 49ers Day, essentially. They're not promoting it as that, but you're essentially airing a 49ers Day when you air Super Bowl 29, and then you air the 81 NFC Championship, and then you air the 94 NFC Championship. But if you sandwich that in between with the 1992 NFC Championship where the 49ers lose, I don't get the strategy here. I just don't get the strategy. I'm not saying don't ever re-air the 1992 NFC Championship. Just, don't do it in between two 49er wins when you're trying to get 49er fans to watch your channel on that day. Because let's be honest, I'm not sure how many people are watching a rerun of Super Bowl 29 since the game is available on YouTube. As it is, it's completely available on YouTube, the entire thing. And it's on the NFL Throwback page. So if you just want to watch the highlights without any filler in between, you can do that. So no one's watching that except Niners fans that want to reminisce. And they want to look at their TV guide and say, oh, look at all these great Niners games I grew up with or that I can relive. This is fun. And then we show something that's not so fun. Genius. Just whoever's in charge of the algorithm there, absolutely genius. But what are your thoughts on this decision by NFL Network? Do you think it's the right call to air a game where the 49ers lost in between 3 games where the 49ers won? What would you air in that slot instead? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And that is going to do it for this episode of JJ9 News. Be sure you like and subscribe. It helps the channel out a lot. And be sure to check out my main channel, JRGare9, where we talk all things NFL history all the time. Until next time, this is JRGare9 signing off. And as always, go Jags.